Resources, we already talked about financial resources and budgets. You should also need to look at human resources. Who should be involved? Mobile projects are very, very popular in companies. They're very high profile. Everybody wants to be involved. Even if they don't understand the transformative power of a mobile strategy, they feel that this is something big and they want a seat at the table. So you have to really decide who belongs at that table. A lot of our clients have internal arguments. This is a marketing initiative or this is an IT initiative. And I'm like, no, it's both. We need both parties at the table. And you also bring in HR and operations too, because this particular solution is going to affect them. Figure out who needs to be at that table, not just because they're stakeholders, but also because of what they can offer. IT, do you need a set of web services, a new set of web services? Are you doing a mobile website? Where is it going to be hosted? Is there an existing security apparatus that needs to be integrated? So IT needs to be there. Marketing, how does this mobile initiative affect other channels? Does it cannibalize them? Or is it multi-channel? Or are we going to actually do what I recommend, which is omni-channel, which is a shared experience across all devices? So marketing needs to be there. Operations, you know, how are we going to support this? When this app gets out there, or this website, and we start getting calls, how are we going to support this? Do we have the staff to do that? Do they have the training they need to support it? So you see I'm saying very little about the actual technology, because most mobile strategy is actually before the technology. Unfortunately, this is a conversation that usually happens after the solution's built. We build an iPhone app, how come it's not selling? Well, how did people know about this app? That's not our job, that's marketing's job. Well, does marketing even know we have an app? I don't know, let's call them. It's horrible, it's funny, but it's also sad because we see this every day. So those are the three items you have to really deal with: resources, target audience, and business objectives. Measuring. So few people actually have any thought to measuring while they're creating the app. It's not till later that they look at the downloads and they say, well, that's the boring statistic. We've had 10 downloads this week, okay. What does that mean? Is anyone using our app? Truth is, 35% of Americans, according to Pew Internet Research, November 2011, yeah, I don't need my slides, have downloaded an app. Only 65% of those who downloaded the app have used the app more than once a week. If you go to more than twice a week or more than 3 times a week, it gets down to like 15%. So app usage is very low. That's one of the statistics I said that people are going to be unhappy about, because everyone wants to go out and get an app, or they're already developing an app. But the truth is, usage is so low, you need a strategy to also figure out how you're going to drive that usage. There's a company called FixU, very appropriately named, that their entire business model is based off getting loyal users to your application. Because again, if you build it, downloads are great, but if they download it and delete it, you'll never know. What matters is usage. And so one of the measurements you need to do is you need to put value to different actions within the app. They watch the entire video, they filled out a form, they use it more than X number of times a week. Those all have different values. Determine a value for that, and then use a metric system like web methods or Thori. There's an endless number of analytic applications out there for mobile, but you need to have those thoughts about what you're going to track while you're building the app, or even before and not after. If you're doing a branding app, for example, the 3 things you want to measure is reach, frequency, and engagement. Reach you can measure by number of downloads, how many people have downloaded this app. You might also measure it by how many people actually download this app and have used it in a certain period of time. Frequency is exactly what I just said. How often is our message or our app getting in front of these people based off their usage? And engagement, you have to be a little creative there. Engagement would be, they just shared something to social media through our app, so they're engaged. They've watched the entire video we just put into our app. That's engagement. By putting some kind of financial measure to each of those, by understanding what you're going to track, you're able to go back and really say, is this a success or a failure? Is this working? And if it is working, then you can probably, get more budget to try new things. Mobile's ripe for experimentation. It's a new medium. A lot of people try and convert, not create, or they try and copy what someone else did. And mobile's too young to be doing that. You really should say, okay, there's some basic things we need. We need a mobile website because web traffic through mobile is really skyrocketing. And look at your logs. See how many people have tried to access your website through mobile. What kind of experience do they have? Usually that's the first step, and it's not an expensive one usually. Get a mobile website. But it's not a one and done. Mobile is never a one and done. So if you have a mobile website, that solves that problem. Today it is a problem. You don't have a mobile website, it is a problem. It may not be specifically for you, but in general, to a general audience, it is a problem not to have at least a mobile-friendly website. Then after that, you can get more creative through SMS campaigns or a native app. Native app you got to be very careful with because the costs are high. You're talking in excess of $10K per platform, sometimes more, and you got to actually justify that sort of investment for what's usually a niche market. 50% of people in the U.S. have smartphones. What about the other 50%? How many of those are your customers? And then you take that 50% and what is it, 27, 28% I think have Droid. So you keep getting it smaller. So I mean, if you develop just for one platform, one native app, and that's your entire mobile strategy, how many of your customers are you leaving out? And if you're not tracking them, I mean, how do you even know? See if I forgot anything. This is very difficult without my deck.
Will you be able to put these slides up somewhere?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm ready to turn them over. What time do we have to?
It's 2:30. It's time's up.
Time's up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.